Good morning, people on virtual. I'm glad that we could see you here on all the channels. If you are watching on a social media channel, make sure and hit share, subscribe, like, comment. And thank you again, Barbara, and our good friend Karen Schlomer for commenting on the last program with our good friend Chris. If you want all the episodes, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online. Almost over 100 episodes. Episode number 1000 was just downloaded, and we are on track to hit download number 2000. With your help, we can do that. Listen on any of the 13 beautiful podcast platforms, including the number one Apple podcast. If you want to learn how to be more engaging in the world, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/con and come to the Engaging Conference where you can learn to be more engaging. You can actually see all our tech in action, and most of all, make a connection to our community of beautiful and engaging people. Speaking of beautiful and engaging people, this person I got a chance to meet in Costa Rica. She founded Pibworth Professional Solutions in 2007, and she chose to work exclusively with speakers and coaches because she has a solid understanding of both their marketing needs and who they are. Please, let's welcome to the stage Lauren Pibworth. Oh, geez. It was like my music cue was like changing songs.
Hi, everybody. John, thank you for having me, and it is awesome to be here. I really appreciate it.
It it is awesome, and you are awesome, Lauren. I got a chance to be with Lauren and actually record her breakout session in Costa Rica at the CAPS, the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers Convention. Right, Lauren?
Absolutely. You recorded me, you made me look good, and we got a chance to see you dancing. So that was also interesting.
And Lauren is like, it's great because you know what, Lauren? It's really funny too. I'm going to give a shout out to Dan Gingiss, and shout out to Dan Gingiss because he just made his CSP last week. Like, that's a big marketing event, right? You should capitalize on the fact that you became a certified speaking professional, one of only 400 in the world. And so Dan gave me the tip to says he's actually an introvert as a speaker, right? Some speakers are actually introverts. What a concept! And he says that when he has to go to the social events afterwards, they used to terrify him, but instead he found that he could buy lighted shoes. And if you bought like LED lighted shoes, that people would ask him, they're like, "Wow, where'd you get those shoes?" So he never had to start a conversation, Lauren, right? So I bought a pair, right? And I'm the resident extrovert, right? I don't care. I don't need help with the shoes, but I just think they're cool. And Ana Liata, shout out to my good friend Ana Liata, Hall of Fame speaker, says, John, you should make those part of your brand. And so
Absolutely.
I keynoted for the first time this week, 2 days ago, with the red shoes because I'm using the red, right? The red is part of engaging, and that's the brand. So I'll always come on stage with these red shoes, and if there's one thing, like especially when you get to audiences and you're just like, I've never, where do you get those, right? And my favorite answer to that, Lauren, is Amazon.
You've got the red shoes. My amazing friend Sarah McVannell, who's also CSP,
Yay.
her one of her trademarks are these amazing cowboy boots. She
Mm.
must have half a dozen pair of custom, really just out there gorgeous, gorgeous boots. And they start every conversation for her too. And that's become part of her brand. I think I'll tell you, I've been thinking about this for a very long time. And if I had any skill, I would actually do it, but I'm not going to.
Yep.
But I think we should create hover shoes so that we can wear the women can wear the 6-inch stilettos
Yes.
and be like brilliant, and our feet would never hurt. We would just glide everywhere we go. So I think hover shoes will be the next thing.
I want to give a shout out to NSA Georgia member Amanda May Gray, who just came and she was the closing keynote to the Northwest Event Show, the largest event show in Washington State. And those heels, like she had these heels that were so tiny. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
I
super
do.
stilettos, and they were high. Like she's like a giant now, and I'm like, The shoes, like I'm looking at them, and what was my question? How many pounds per square inch can you put on that back heel? Because I think you could harm somebody with a heel like
Well, I think it takes almost as much practice to walk in those heels as it does to become a CSP.
that. Well, I got to tell you, it takes as many speeches because she said she spent something like $500 to $1,000 on these shoes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. All right, Lauren, let's do this. For for my friends who don't know you, just take a moment now, Lauren, to share who you are and what you do in the world.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, I'm Lauren Pibworth, and I help professional speakers build businesses they're proud of, ones that truly reflect, who they are and what they believe. And with my company, Pibworth Professional Solutions, I work closely with them to help them figure out what makes them unique, how to position themselves in a crowded market, because it's getting more crowded every day, and how to turn their passion and expertise into a thriving and profitable speaking brand. Um,
It's
I believe
amazing
that
too,
being a
right?
professional speaker isn't just about standing on stage. It's about genuinely connecting with your audience
Hmm.
and being known as the authority in your field. So we step in and we clarify the message, we fine tune their marketing, and build the strategic foundations they need to get noticed and booked.
So, like in NSA, National Speakers Association, one of the things they say is, right, become a better speaker, build a better business.
Yes.
And so many speakers don't look at that part. They think they just focus on the part of the craft that they're attracted to, which is getting on stage,
Yeah.
right? And they don't know, like, that's how you become a CSP though, is you got to really work on the other side. And so, for instance, I'm a technologist, right? Really, I worked at Microsoft. I got a Bachelor of Science, Computer Science, and so selling is not my first most natural primary skill. And I got to figure out a way to do that if I want to say, like, I want to do this for a living. And so you really need to find the ways to do that. What's the biggest challenge that you see a lot of speakers? So like if you like are on a discovery call with a client or something like that, or you talk at conferences, what's like the first thing you think like the majority of speakers really got to work on?
I'd say the number one thing I always tell speakers is to get crystal clear on what makes you different.
Mm, amen.
There's so much competition out there, and speakers think, well, I can talk about anything, but being a generalist will never get you noticed. You have to ask yourself, what is it about your background, your perspective, or your story that makes you the absolute best fit for the audience I truly want to reach? So when you can nail down your unique value and clearly communicate it everywhere in
Yes.
your marketing, your website, your messaging, your social media, what you say to people, it becomes easy for your ideal clients to see you and say, yes, that's exactly what we need. And that's when marketing stops feeling like work and starts feeling like you're just authentically sharing who you are. If you're not crystal clear on that, then the number one tip I'd give is to stop marketing and
Yeah.
figure
Stop.
out,
Stop.
yes,
Stop
just
the
stop,
madness.
stop marketing
Stop the
because you're
madness.
flushing your dollars down the drain.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. Again, a lot of new speakers now, come up to me and they're like, "How do you get so many gigs?" And so, and then you ask them like, "Well, what do you speak on?" Right? That's kind of a common NSA, networking question. And then
Mhm.
just like, and it sounds something like this, Lauren. Well, I'm something for everybody, like I'm talking about mental health and wellness, about leadership and then team building. And then, I can really do anything. Like sometimes I talk about fingernail clipping as well as like my cooking skills. And I got, like, every client needs me, right? Like I'm going to make them great. Right? And they don't even ever tell you how. So, right, the number one saying that I love that people say is that all the Hall of Famers will say this, and a shout out to our good friend Tyler Hayden who just made Hall of Fame in caps, right? Tyler,
Yes, Tyler's awesome.
there are riches in the niches. There are riches in the niches, and so yeah, pick the one thing. Like, do you have an example of a one thing that like really like saying? You don't even have to say the speaker's name, but like Like you, I help isolate. That's the thing.
Oh, um, there you go. Just throw something at me out of the. I would say
I'll
the
tap dance and
thing.
stall for you.
No, that's okay. The thing is, well, I like Jane Atkinson,
Mm,
speaker launcher.
mm, mm,
Who
okay.
doesn't want to be launched as a speaker?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just said those two words. This is the genius of this, right? I don't even know her, right? So I don't know her well, but all I can see is I'm a new speaker. You get a speaker launcher, you're going to take me from my desire to be a keynoter to actually being a keynoter.
Exactly,
That's great.
exactly. And she knows exactly who her audience is.
Yeah.
She knows exactly their pain point,
Oh, it's pain. Like I can't get a gig.
and she hits it on the head with a big brand promise. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Speaking of Big Bad Promise, right? We talked a little bit in Costa Rica, and I just want to hear. All right, I'm going to go way back. We're going to hit the way back machine. We're going to go back into March of 2020. Here, watch. I even have a background for you. I just to inspire you a little bit. Ready? Bum bum bum. You're in March of 2020. You're a marketing company. You've done it for years, and this COVID thing shows up. And talk to me a little bit, Lauren, about how you and your company dealt with it.
Well, it was funny. Ugh. Um,
Funny, ha ha, ha,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Funny, like, but
Oh wait, I want to try that. But,
and that's the time your screen will freeze, and that
oh
will
yeah.
be a meme forever. But anyway,
By the way, that's one of my favorite side tools. When somebody like the keynote speaker freezes, maybe it's not good, but it's very funny, right? It's like, and then you say, "Oh, it looks like she froze." Everyone in virtual, do me a favor, try and match her pose while she froze. Right? And then all magically, like the signal comes back and goes, "Okay, let's let Lauren finish her keynote." Thank you.
yeah, there you go. Okay, so 2020, all of a sudden, I wake up and every single one of my clients is unemployed.
Oh, right. Not cool.
Every single one of them. And I
Mm.
looked at my husband and I said, well, one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to have to take all the skills that I have, because I've really only ever worked with speakers, consultants, experts who speak. That is my jam. I know you guys inside, outside, backwards.
Yes.
So I'm either going to have to take all the skills that I've learned with this and transfer them and find another group to, give them to,
Yes.
because nobody will be spending money. Or the clients who work with me now and have been following me for years will look at this as an opportunity to finally work on their business
Yes.
instead of in
In
their
their
business.
business. Yes.
And they will do all of the things that have always been in the back of their mind. Or they'll clean up their website, they'll get their brand ready, they'll launch an online course, they'll want to do a membership site, and we will be so busy that I won't know what to do.
Yes.
Option
And
two was gratefully the the thing that happened, is that our business, and you don't want to say this, right? Because COVID really affected a lot of people negatively, and we have
yeah.
to respect and understand that.
Yes.
But for the online marketers like me, um, I grew by 50% one year and another 50% another year. I added 5 team members between
Ooh,
2020 and 2023.
jobs.
Yeah, like it just went, and it hasn't gone down, which is really a blessing. Um, because when I mean, I'm a marketer that doesn't really have to market.
Yes.
I'm 90% referral. People come and they stay. They think they just want a website, but then they understand that that's just a beginning point and they want the whole strategy and want to know
Yeah.
how to use it and continue to grow their business. So they I'm kind of like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you really never leave.
Welcome to Hotel Lauren Pibworth. What a lovely place.
I'm not stabbing anything with my steely knife, though, just so we're
Oh, okay.
clear.
Okay, just so we're clear.
They
Like,
they
she's
stay because they
Canadian.
like it here,
That's right.
not
Yes.
not because I'm forcing them.
Well, what an amazing story, and people also needed to rebrand. Like if a speaker would finally figure it out, they got to go virtual and they got to communicate that to their clients who now, after the shock and awe, have a need, saying we still need to work, we still got to do business, we still
Yeah.
need to train and educate and inspire, and in fact, even more, you really need to train and inspire and educate your people more to be more resilient, more flexible, more problem solving, because everyone was facing an unknown, and those speakers who figured that out and how to drop that onto their website, right, is really key. All right, I think I told you my version here. Let's see the do the short version, which is this is me. I have 15 council programs, but one of my parts is that my strategy, Lauren, is that when faced with uncertainty, I look at the past. And I was on this service. Were you ever on this service, Prodigy? Do you remember this?
I do remember it. Yep.
Because listen to this, right? This is it was the first graphical based meeting space online at a time when modems used to make noise. Look, I actually got the noise. I have a push button right for the noise. And I even wrote this book, 50 Digital Team Building Games. So my strategy, Lauren, was that my strategy actually came around the thought, which I'm about service. I'm like, how can I help the world at a time when everybody is in such need? There's so much, panic and uncertainty, and right. And so I just said, well, I don't make vaccines, but I can make your virtual meeting better. And I put a class on Eventbrite, and over the course of 2020, 5,000 people took this class, Lauren. Right. And my publisher asked me, hey, John, do you want to write your second book? I know, by the way, right? Isn't a book a very decent marketing tool?
It is,
Yeah.
providing it's a good book written to the right people.
Which is another part, right? It's like clarifying your brand, same thing. And I feel like, I don't know if you heard this one, Lauren, all right? But it's what I felt like is the cruelest joke that my publisher played on me. No disrespect to Wiley. I love them. All right. They said, hey, John, we don't know how long this COVID thing's going to last. Can you rush the book? Not knowing we had 5 years. Could have taken 5 years. It would have been fine. But rushing the book was such a good thing because I wrote this book, Lauren, in 9 weeks.
That's painful and amazing.
It was actually kind of fun. I actually enjoyed it because
Yeah.
what else was I doing? Right? And the reward was this: I got number one Amazon, and like copy number 20,000 went out last week. And so, let's talk about this. Let's talk about engaging marketing. And you said we'd peek at my website because I actually right now I'm going through a rebranding, and I'd be curious for you to think about that. But let's just talk about what is some of the core principles in your marketing strategy, and then after that, we'll take a peek at my website, my current website.
Absolutely. And in fact, I have an assessment on my
Oh, yeah.
website that takes you through everything that we're going to quickly talk about. So they can, you can play along at home later. But I'd see
Play along now. Don't wait. And by the way, the link is inside of the description for all of you who are on the major platforms such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.
listen to the podcast first, then take the assessment. Come on, like don't take them away.
Okay.
Never send people away without getting what it is that you want them to get.
I'm just about to move from YouTube to Vimeo too for that specific reason.
Well, yeah. Oh, don't get me started. So,
Too late.
yeah, it doesn't take much to get me started.
I know.
Okay, so when I'm looking at website, I ask myself a few general questions.
Mm-hmm.
Does your website clearly explain your expertise and who you serve? So in your case, yes. I'd say, oh, you want me to go through the questions first and then we'll look at your site, right?
Yeah, unless you want to do it now, I have it here already.
Okay, so does your website clearly explain your expertise and who you serve? So this is a definition of your client avatar. And looking at, and I'm looking in multiple places because I got all the monitors, but producer, speaker, MC for engaging virtual, hybrid, and in-person meetings. Can you get any clearer than that? That's exactly who you serve and how you help. So I think that's amazing.
Yay.
Um, and are your key messages, the things that make you different, easy to find?
Mhm.
One of the top 3 digital event strategists in the world.
That's right here. This one,
All
right?
right, like John is my go-to person. I want to be sure my online meetings and webinars and conferences are engaging. Slow it down. Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to
So
my friend Ed Cohen. Thank you.
so that's, I'd say yes. You're definitely I mean, we're only looking at your homepage at the moment, but your key messages, they should be so clear that even your mom knows what you do.
I love. I want to give a shout out to all my friends in the meetings professional international realm because their parents usually say, "Aren't you a party planner?" And you're like, "No."
Oh, it's so much different, right?
Yeah. Yes.
On a speaker website, your speaking topics and services should clearly show why you're the best option.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So
Um,
it's like right here. This right.
yes. So the genuine story, and here's a question for you. Do
Yes.
you have a website that is specific to your keynotes? Because this is the engaging meetings piece. What else do you do?
Right.
I don't look at this and necessarily immediately see that you're a speaker.
Yeah, and this is the good part too, Lauren, is that I'm primarily my number one income actually comes from producing first before as a speaker. And this is a great question for you, right? Well, number one, I'm
Yeah.
going to rebrand the website to engagingmeeting.com. So I got to get rid of the word virtual because the world opened up and I had to get back on the road and actually be with real people, which I love. This week I was like, oh my gosh, my oxytocin hug factor was completely filled in the last 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going to be engaging meeting. So now can I subpage from that engagingmeeting.com speaker, or do I really need to create a separate website for each of these?
I'm going to ask you a couple questions that you may or may not want to answer online.
Okay, that's fine. And that's what this is the value of you, Lauren. You gotta, and as a coach, sometimes I do this too. I ask these questions, and you're like, oh crap, I don't know, right?
Well, and I would say you say right now the most of your revenue comes from the meetings production side.
Yeah,
How much of that in a percentage wise is producing? How much is speaking?
probably easy 60% producing now, right? Oop, did you hear me?
Oh, no, sorry, I've lost you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. 60%, 60 to 70% producing.
So if it's 60 to 70%,
Yes.
then I would keep your homepage mostly production, and I would add a section
Yes.
that talks about you speaking.
Okay.
I would make it really, really compelling because you've only got 15 words.
Yeah.
And that I wouldn't necessarily have a separate page for speaking. But when you're talking to meeting planners, meeting professionals, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we don't use that other word.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Then I would make sure that um, when you're looking for gigs, I would be sending the /speaking URL. I wouldn't send them to your home.
Oh yeah. Oh, for speaking. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would optimize the heck out of from an SEO perspective. I would
Yes.
optimize the heck out of your speaking section so
Yes.
that that would happen a little bit more organically. Because if you're getting 60 to 70% of your revenue for the producing, then that's already probably working. So
Yes.
I would put some effort into SEO from a speaking perspective.
Yes, and it does. I think it needs a different speaker reel. Like a speaking reel is different than a producer reel.
Very
Right.
much, yeah.
And so I think that's a really a key piece I think that goes around there. And so thank you for that. I think that's really helpful because it is hard. I do have a little bit of this problem, which is like I do take multiple roles because and I had to find a way to communicate it. And one of the things that I've been communicating often to meeting professionals is that like I replace 7 jobs when I come in as a producer.
Absolutely.
And for instance, I actually use my CSP not just for keynoting, but often I use it to help coach your speakers when they go on stage in your conference to be better. And so I combine all these skills around that. All right, Lauren, we weren't expecting this, but you don't expect anything with me now. You know that. Can I
No.
play you 60 seconds off a new reel? I haven't released this yet, but I'm going to do this on a podcast. I want
Yeah,
to show you 60 seconds of my new reel and just get your comments. Would that be okay?
absolutely.
Okay, here we go. By the way, we did not rehearse this, just so you're clear. Okay, check out this reel.
Get ready to engage.
Oh, wait.
This gentleman
You
is the
want your
number one.
conferences to be engaging. You want your summits to be engaging. You want all of your meetings to be engaging. Then you need engaging meeting. Engaging meeting puts the magic into the meeting. Engaging meeting is when you get everybody to lean in. Engaging meeting is when the energy is high. An engaging meeting is when people remember long after the meeting ends. I'm John Shen, CEO of Engaging Meetings, and I'm on a mission to get rid of boring meetings in the world. When you partner with Engaging Meeting now, you're guaranteed that your meeting will be perceived as engaging. Your result? Amazed attendees, increased revenue, higher attendance, and more of what you want. Let's hear why others trust Engaging Meetings with their most valuable meetings.
John has made it very simple for you to learn quickly how to have virtual meetings, transform people's lives, and be able to impact your income. Money, money, money.
Yes, I'm amazed at the amount of technology that's here, and I'm just super impressed. So thank you.
Now, John Chen has done a wonderful job of entertaining the virtual attendees during this entire conference and creating a lot of fun content.
To John, who we have a rock star doing our stuff. I love his professionalism.
There we go, Lauren. That's the short version. What do you think?
I love it.
Ooh,
Um,
it's a good sign.
no, I do. I think it's fun.
Yes.
I think that it showcases you and almost in the same weight as the value you're providing with the people behind you. So I like that piece. I have a question.
Good.
So you said in there, and sorry, and I'm watching, but it's you said in there, we'll give you more of what you want.
Yeah.
What do they want?
Well, it's part of what we have to go through. So I generated the line out of that because it is different for every client. But if they want engagement, they get more of that. If they want more energy, then they want that. And so often I start too, Lauren, like you, the hardest question, it sounds so simple. I tell people though, it's the most valuable 5 words as a speaker you can ask. What do you want? It's 4 words.
Today.
I'm going to get it right. Yeah. What do they want? Yeah, that's a question mark. So that's probably the 5 words.
So I would love to see you say that.
What do you want?
We'll give you more of what you want, whether it's engagement, whether it's getting someone on board, whether it's like go through your testimonials and find your
give them
top
some
5.
examples. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Okay.
prove to them that you know what it is they're likely to want.
Mm-hmm. Examples of what they want. Okay. Cool. And then you know what I can do with it to back it up too, Lauren, is images. If you saw that there was an image, there was a video of the CAPS convention in there.
I did.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Right.
No. So it's marketing is down to proof.
That's
You
great. Say that again slowly.
marketing is based on proof.
Okay.
Proof that you're the best choice. Proof that you know what it is that you're talking about. Proof that you're easy to work with.
Oh, that's the big one. Why do people make it hard?
Why don't you have your contact information on every page of your website?
I do that. Like I was trying to call somebody, and I'm like, how Alan Berg. Shout out to Alan Berg, right? Global Speaking Fellow, CSP, and that's why it says meet John, email John, text John, call John, and he says put them all there, and he goes because Ana Liata says every generation will choose their preferred way to talk to you, to communicate with you. So don't make it hard for them.
Never make it hard for someone to give you money.
Serious. They're gonna move on. They're gonna go. I'm gonna go to somebody else.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go to someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so are you good at what you do?
Yes.
Do you don't know what you're talking about? Are you easy to work with?
Yes.
And can I afford you? And
yeah, and
because I'm a big believer in positioning yourself. And it depends. If you're an emerging speaker,
yes,
and you can't deliver what you look like, if you position yourself as a 15 grand, 25 grand speaker,
yeah,
and you can't deliver that,
yeah.
then you're lying.
Ooh, it's like the ultimate brand promise breaker is you're lying.
I believe in marketing from integrity.
Yeah.
I believe that you get so there's nothing wrong with shooting for the moon, providing you can deliver it.
That you can land
And
on the moon. We talk
did
about
it
landing
really
the plane.
happen?
What about landing the rocket ship? Hello. On time, by the way. On
Yes.
time. God.
Yes. No. So absolutely, that has to happen. And so we need to think about what a decision maker is looking for
Yes.
and plant those seeds throughout it. So when
Yes.
I talk about proof is testimonial proof.
Yes.
Proof is social media proof.
Mm.
Proof is in photography.
Mm.
Proof, like it's not just I say I can do it.
I'm Superman. Or
I just picture the cape.
I'm already doing the music. I'm like, da, 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 da. Superman, right? Old school Clark Kent, Christopher Reeves. Great movie, by the way.
Have you done this for people that I know and respect?
Did you like my testimonial screen? I worked really hard on that.
I did. And the client logos.
Yes.
In your video, like,
yes.
that one's familiar, that one's familiar, that one's familiar. Yeah. So there's no point in putting testimonials from Joe and John's, yarn store.
Which says the wrong thing to the client, going, why am I picking a yarn store client, right? That's like,
yeah. So everything has to be strategic. Yeah. There's no such thing as just, I'll throw up a website.
Throw up is probably the right word. Right? Less is more. You would actually do better, right? With a black website with white type that says speaker. That's probably it.
I'm well known for saying that no speaker reel is better than a bad speaker reel.
Ooh.
Don't prove how crappy you are.
It is such a horrible. Yeah. Or the worst part is you're a great speaker, but you represent yourself incorrectly by posting a 60-minute video.
Yeah.
You make the client do the work. Again, it just shows I'm not making it easy for you to choose me. I made you watch the whole thing. And by minute 7 or minute 1, like in YouTube, I think, right? The first 3 minutes are the hardest to get people to watch.
Well, and understand that you don't have all that time. You may
Right.
think you do,
You don't.
but you don't, because they're not getting past the first 30 seconds.
Unless you hooked them.
Exactly.
Right. And then you earned the extra time. I think to me, this is what I call the engagement meter. Like I feel like everybody comes into a virtual meeting with an engagement meter, and as the meeting progresses, it slowly goes out. And when it goes to the bottom, right, you're like, I'm out. I'm done with this meeting. I gotta go. Like I gotta go walk around. I gotta go pet the dog. I'm gonna do something. But if you're a great speaker, right, somewhere around here, you engage them. You're like, oh, I'm gonna stick around a little bit longer. Hey, oh my gosh, that was really valuable. And at some point, like Lauren's talk too. Lauren admits, I am not a professional speaker, but when she talks about marketing, speakers listen. They listen, and they better if they want to have a business, right?
Well, it's all about creating something that lasts. So
Yeah.
your business is, yes, if you're a keynoter, not all
Yeah.
speakers are keynoters,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you can't only build a website and a business for a keynoter, because what if you're a facilitator? Well, there's a
Yes.
whole other set of rules and things that rules is a loose word, but whole other set of criteria that you
Guidelines.
want to do. And if you're a trainer, then it's
Yes.
different again.
Yes.
And most people, most speakers that I know, don't make their living just doing keynoting.
Oh yeah, they
There's,
have multiple
okay,
streams of
so
income. Yeah, multiple
what
streams. Yeah.
what are we going to do? Your keynote, and do we have a system as part of your marketing strategy to keep working with them on and on? What else? What's next? What's next?
Yep.
When I help my speakers plan out their marketing strategy,
Yep.
it's problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution, problem,
This is
right?
what I've called this, Lauren, itch and scratch marketing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
Like
do.
client has an itch, right? You have a scratch and you solve the problem and it mysteriously goes away, right? And then you can move on to the next thing.
But you don't want to move on to the next thing. You want to
Mm.
find out where their next itch is going to come from,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
and
a deeper itch. Like, yeah, the
and
longer you stick around.
prepare
Yes.
them
Yes.
ahead of time that,
Yeah.
you know, uh, a, a normal example for a speaker is I get up and I'm talking about leadership, and this is the wave of the future. We've got everybody on board. Fantastic. And you get off the stage, but you haven't trained
Yep.
anyone on how to do the type of leadership that you've just talked about.
Yep.
And the CEOs don't have a buy-in, and the middle managers are supposed to do it.
Yep.
Don't really know how to do it, and then the people underneath them are so mad because they've just been 3 hours of their time has been spent and about some idiot blah blah blahing, and they know nothing will ever come of it.
Yes.
So what are you going to do to make sure you actually make the impact that you wanted to make with your talk? Right?
Well, I got two questions then to conclude today's amazing podcast, Lauren. Number one, what's a website or a speaker you want to give a shout out to? Like you really like if you're a new speaker, it's kind of your gold standard of saying, something like this. And by the way, don't copy, but take inspiration from top speakers. They became CPAs for a reason. They became Hall of Famers for a reason. So, is there a speaker you'd like to give a shout out to their website?
I love Sarah McDaniel's website,
Okay.
Greatness Magnified.
Yes.
And it's hard. Like we've built probably 100
Yeah.
speaker. Oh, you know what?
Mm.
Matthew Bertram. We just did Matthew's. It's MatthewBertramSpeaks.com. We just released Matthew's, and this was a lot of fun.
Okay.
He is an AI developer who speaks about AI and teaches companies how to bring AI in a more friendly way. So he came to us with an idea, and we built this site. I love the images. I love the copywriting. And Sorry, can I give you one more?
Sorry, you're so Canadian.
Uh,
You know what? Because I say this, Lauren, like in April 2020, we created the no sorry zone, right? Because we got tired of people apologizing, even Americans were apologizing for stuff they had no control over, their dogs, their cats, the lawn blowers, right?
True
So,
enough.
Lauren, you can
So
always add another, please.
cheeseambassador.ca.
Okay.
Like it cheese as in
Like fromage. Okay.
ambassador.ca. That
Okay.
is David Bedouin, and he is phenomenal. We
Okay.
had so much fun
Okay.
doing the copy, doing the images.
Mm,
His job is actually to showcase cheese. He's the cheese ambassador for the Canadian dairy farmers.
okay.
So he is an amazing event
Genius.
guy.
Genius,
So
genius, genius. All right,
yeah.
well, especially the fun fact, you met Donna, right? My beautiful girlfriend while
Yes.
you were in Costa Rica, and she actually grew up in the dairy industry in Indiana. So I'm going to show her this website today,
Oh,
okay?
awesome.
Okay, well, cool. And the last question of the day, Lauren, is if you could get people to magically remember one thing from this podcast, what would that one thing be?
Talk to Lauren because she knows what she's doing.
Her link is in there. Go get the free assessment for crying out loud. Assess your website and look at it. And I got to do the same thing right now, and I'm really trying to decide how do I go around that and think about that. And I think that the key parts around this are things like she's talking about, right? Make your main business your main business, and if you do something extra, then make a page off of your site. And again, try and make the brands fit together. That's what I've been thinking about the whole time, right? When you say that, I used to be associated with team building and fun,
Mhm.
right? Ta-da! Right, imagine that. And now I'm really working on changing that association to engaging. And right again, I think hopefully Lauren got a chance to see me speak. But this week, even my good friend Don Crowley, CSP, came back and he goes, "Man, I thought my programs were engaging, but John ran the master class at engagement, and I'm going to go back and look at my keynote and up the value of engagement." I'm like, that's the ultimate compliment from Don. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You do a great job, John. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everyone. That's Lauren Pibworth. Thank you for being a guest here on the podcast.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
So the key here is if you're watching here on social media like all my other good friends are, go and subscribe, share, like, and comment here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. Look, I'm going to have to rebrand this too. It'll probably be the Engaging Meeting podcast when we come back. If you want all the episodes, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online. See all the episodes. Get a new episode every Wednesday. And if you want to come experience this in person or on virtual, we do both. For the second year, we'll be hybrid. Go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/CON or take your phone out, turn on the camera, and scan this QR code. Get a free ticket to be able to see something here at the Engaging Conference, which will be the last week of October, October 28th through the 30th. Maybe one day I'll get Lauren here to beautiful Seattle, Washington. And you want to be like Lauren, right? You want to be like Lauren? Well, then click this link, engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet, and select interview. And you too could be a guest here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. Hey, look at your marketing. Call Lauren and define what your niche is. Hey, we will see you next time.
Always start people and keep old people. Show you God.